The festival of 9 nights or Navaratri is happening now, and all the Devi temples in Chennai and in Tamil Nadu will have celebrations. One among these temples is the Kaalikambal shrine located in Georgetown, Chennai. It is in between Tambuchetti and Armenian streets. Historically, as per the Sthala Puranam published by the temple, the shrine existed by the side of the beach when the British first came here in 1639. Later, it was relocated to where it stands now. Very interestingly, though the goddess faces Tambuchetti Street and that is the main entrance, today most people consider Armenian Street to be the main entrance because the Gopuram faces that direction. What is most interesting, however, is the fact that Chatrapati Sivaji, the ruler of the Maratha Empire, is supposed to have come here in the 17th century and worshipped the goddess in this shrine. How did that happen? Let us see. The British came here in 1639 and then constructed Fort St. George by 1640, after which the place was administered by a series of governors. In the 1670s, the governor in charge of the place was Trencham Master. Master, before coming to Madras, had been at Surat in Gujarat, and there in 1670 he had witnessed the valour of Shivaji. Shivaji had laid siege to Surat, which was then a Mughal centre for trade, twice, once in 1664 and the second time in 1670. And both times he had plundered the Mughal treasury and taken away whatever there was back to his own capital. In 1670, he also tried to attack the British and the Dutch warehouses over there, but the soldiers of the Dutch East India Company and the British East India Company held on and Shivaji had to retreat. But Master had seen what Shivaji was capable of, and therefore in 1677, when the British in Madras got to know that Shivaji was on his way, Master warned them not to take it lightly. He said, we have to take all precautions to ensure that he doesn't attack the city. They had very few soldiers with them and they posted them on guard and hoped for the best. In the month of May 1677, Shivaji came with a huge army and camped between Punamalli and Kanchipuram. He sent a letter through a messenger to Fort St. George asking for a few medicines, anti-poisons and cordial stones. He also offered to pay for them. The British, of course, would not even think of charging him money. Imagine if they asked for the money and he got angry and then he attacked them. Who would face the consequences? So they collected all that he wanted. They also gave plenty of gifts to the messenger and sent him back hoping that Shivaji wouldn't come. A few days later, a second letter arrived asking for further medicines. Once again, the British collected all that was needed and sent it back. A few days later, a third letter arrived, this time asking for engineers from the British Army. This they were not in a position to agree to, and they very courteously refused and hoped that Shivaji would not attack them. Luckily for them, he did not. He moved on to conquer Vellore and Chenji, and then 1 year later, he was back. This time it was the month of September 1678 and he was somewhere between Kanchipuram and Vellore. News reached the British and the news came from Golconda and then to the British over here, and you can imagine what a terror Shivaji must have been that in Hyderabad, in Golconda, they were monitoring his movements over here. News reached that he had given orders for the complete flattening of Madras, Madras and Pulicat town. The British braced themselves for a battle, but they knew that they wouldn't succeed. Luckily for them, Shivaji chose not to attack. He chose to move back to Maharashtra and then he never came back here, passing away in 1680. That is as per the British East India Company records. On October 3rd, 1678, the governor here wrote with great relief to the board of directors of the East India Company in London that Shivaji had come but he had not attacked and that he had left. All of this is published in the first record of British history in Madras city. J. Tallboys Wheeler's Madras in the olden time, published in 1861. But if you read the Sthala Puranam of the Kaalikambal temple, it records that on October 3rd, 1677, Chatrapati Sivaji Maharaj came and visited the temple. The two records do not match in terms of the exact date, but we do realize that there was every possibility that he came and he visited the temple. After all, he was a worshipper of Bhavani, of Devi, and therefore he must have felt that he needed to offer his prayers at a Kali temple. Maybe he came in disguise, maybe he slipped in unseen into the fort of Madras town. But it is very likely that he came here. Even if you go into the temple today, you will find that there is a portrait of Shivaji, and under that there is a record of his having come over here. That is as far as 17th century records are concerned. In the 20th century, the national poet Subramanya Bharati came here often and was very greatly inspired by the goddess. It is said that some of the poems that he composed on Kali were at this particular temple. Have you been to this shrine? In case you haven't, you must go, because it is one of the most historic spots in Chennai city. Please do that as soon as you can. Thank you very much. And if you like what is being presented on this channel, share it, like it, and subscribe.